The following podcast is an enticing media production.
Where the Nell have you been? Join us for conversation about life, business, and everything in between. Welcome to What the Nell, where we've got stories to tell. Here's your host, Nell Tice.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of the What the Nell podcast. And may I say, the 100th episode of the What the Nell podcast. Today, we are kicking off a very special exclusive series here on this podcast called Don't Follow Me with my very special regular guest, Steve Trott. Steve, welcome to the podcast and happy 100th episode to you.
Well, not to me. Well, I guess so. Maybe my ninth or 10th overall.
Well, you're part of the reason why we've reached 100 episodes. So
there
thank
you
you.
go. There you go. Well, thank you. The congratulations goes to you. I think it's cool.
Thanks.
It's an exciting milestone to reach.
Yeah.
And once a week. I have to ask, did you skip any weeks?
Yes, I skipped, I think 2 weeks out of the
Okay.
entire, it'll be 3 years this coming March. And
Right.
one of the weeks, I think, was during a summer. I don't remember if something happened. I was supposed to record or something. I don't know. Something happened and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to put an episode out this week. And I actually, in
Nice.
actuality, I think I did put the episode out. It just was on a different day.
Right.
So
Right. That's cool. That's
technically,
cool.
that wasn't a missing week, but I did miss 1 week this past October. I was in Costa Rica and I was like, nope, I'm taking a vacation.
Nice. Well, yeah, everybody deserves a vacation.
Exactly.
So, no, this is exciting. I'm excited for this because this series is going to be good, and it kind of changes up the pace a little bit from
Yeah.
all of the independent episodes. And
I agree.
I like it. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited because this is episode 100. I want to get in the nitty gritty of why we're doing this, what this exclusive series is. Don't Follow Me, where this came from, what it means, all that stuff. But first of all, let's tell everybody who we are and why we are here qualified to talk to you about this subject. So, Steve, introduce yourself.
I don't think I'm qualified.
You're not qualified? Should I find somebody else to do this with me?
No, but you know what? Everyone, I'm going to do it anyway. So my name is Steve Trott. Everyone, you know that. And if you don't know that, now you do. I am owner and operator partner in a small residential remodeling company. Also the president and founder for a nonprofit organization that does work for kids with rare disease. I'm involved in a lot of other things. I'm a father of 9. So that alone could be a don't follow me. And no pun intended, I should say. But father of 9, happily married. I am a motivator in life. Or let's put it this way. I try to be. I look at life from the positive perspective as often as I can. You know, we all deal with negative things every day. And it's like, if we can put that positive look in front of us, we can overcome our burdens and our stresses. And I try and share that motivation with people I interact with on a day-to-day basis. So I don't know how much more you want to know about me, because most of the people that are going to listen to this already know who I am. But that's the gist of it. That's the 2-minute version.
Yeah. Well, how do you know that most of the people that are going to listen to this already know you, Steve? We're going to get into the details of this, but for those that don't know you, see, you know where I'm going with this. I got to call you out because that's part of what we're doing here is holding each other accountable. And I want to talk about, too, the difference between our follower levels and why we're qualified. So you have somewhere in the realm of how many followers, at least just on Facebook?
Well, you know, I don't pay attention to any other platform. So on Facebook, and I'd have to look.
Well, thanks for that, because I tag you on Instagram occasionally. So it's good to
know. It is good to know, because as people are going to laugh when they hear this, I have an Instagram account, but I have it linked to Facebook, and I have it set up to do a mirror image post.
Oh, yeah.
So whatever post works on Facebook just relays over to Instagram.
Got it.
Sorry for not ever interacting with your tags. So anyway, I think I don't check it. I know it's over 23,000 followers. It's under 24. And it's weird. I don't know if there are people out there that do check it regularly or not, but I don't. I just get little notifications every once in a while when it says someone new followed me,
Mhm.
which is almost every day. There's two or three every day. And I've learned that this all started about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, with changing my style of posting and making it more a broad perspective of
Mhm.
things that apply to a lot of various people and various styles of life.
Right.
And then it just kind of took off from there. And there was a 6 month period where my following grew somewhere around 10 or 12,000 people in 6 months from just this style of post that I started doing.
Hmm.
And that was, it went, took care of itself.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I will it seems funny to introduce myself on my own podcast now that this is episode 100, but if this is your first time tuning in and or you're just tuning in to hear this series, welcome first of all. My name is Nell and I am co-owner of enTICEingmedia here in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. With my husband, we started a travel YouTube channel at the end of 2019, which is kind of what kicked everything off, I guess you could say. I became a full-time entrepreneur with our business in 2022. And we still maintain the YouTube channel. We have a radio show that is worldwide on Sandcastle Radio called On the Road with Kenny and Nell. And we collectively, I'll say I, because we'll probably interact with Kenny at some point during this series, but
Oh yeah.
I
I got him planned. I got him planned in a couple episodes.
Oh, good. Well, you know
He
what?
doesn't
I
even know
will
yet.
say, so I have my own following on just Facebook alone, and okay, I'll say Instagram is probably just over 1.6 thousand. And collectively, the two of us have probably about 3,500 followers and everything that we do that we know of. The radio show it's up in the air because there are so many people that
Sure,
listen that
sure.
don't get on social media. So we have significantly less followers, which is, I think this is really great because coming from a perspective of somebody like you that has a really great following and someone like us, I'm not saying our following's not great, but somebody that has a different perspective from a numbers standpoint. So I
Yeah,
think
I
it's going to
agree
be
with
really
that.
good. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. Just speaking of followers in general, something I've learned, we do not. I mean, there's two different categories that followers fall into. You have
Mhm.
the people that know you and regularly interact with you, and then you have the others that are just part of the world. And
Yeah.
there are so many people out there that are just part of the world and they're following your page for whatever reason they choose. And we're actually going to go through that in this series, which is interesting because it I don't know those people and they more or less don't know me. They're following my page for whatever reason they choose. And
True.
I don't necessarily care if I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah, you
So,
can say
I mean, it's,
anything. Look, this series we're expecting to be a little controversial at times. We realize that all of these topics, most of them are relative and very heavily opinionated, and people may or may
yes.
not agree with us. So we
Oh,
may
I
not
would agree
agree at
with that.
times.
No, I would agree with that. Well,
Yeah,
we tend to agree a lot.
we
So we'll
tend
see
to.
if we can make ourselves disagree. Yeah.
We'll see if we can make that happen. So
Challenge accepted.
so I posted something recently, maybe a week or two ago, about not followers necessarily. I mean, it technically is. It's listeners, it's viewers, it's followers. And there are three categories to me that followers fall into. That would be the people that follow you, interact, and really want to support you and like what you're doing, or don't like it, just want to support it. There are the people that follow just because they want to know.
Yep.
And there are the people that follow because they're waiting for you to fail. So,
You know, it's funny you say that because that's a real thing in the world of social media. And it's
100%.
amazing to me. It's amazing to me how many people are out there just looking for the next scoop, the next story, the next drama fail, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know about you, but I got I got too much going on in life to worry about someone else's drama. Like
I
I don't
100%.
like I don't care. I'm
I
like, I don't
don't.
care what time of day you do your laundry. I don't care what you eat for breakfast. None of that bothers me.
No, and it's interesting because I always used to say this, and before I even thought about this subject whatsoever, before I even was doing this full time or anything, it was always, to me, it was always the people that were the quietest on social media that you had to
Yes.
watch out for because they're the ones that are watching intently. They're the ones that get
Right.
notifications when you post something. They are the ones that are
Right.
constantly on that newsfeed wherever they are, whether they're eating lunch, whether they're at work, whether they're on the toilet, it doesn't matter. It is the people that are the quietest that you need to watch out for. Not watch out,
Right.
but I'm saying they're the ones that are probably watching you the most.
Yeah, I agree. Well, it's probably a great time. I mean, after hearing this and how it's shaped up, why don't you tell everyone what the name of this series is going to be?
Well,
I don't
this
think you've done that. I don't
I
think you've done
did.
that yet.
I totally did. At the beginning of the episode, I mentioned that we were celebrating the 100th episode with this exclusive series called Don't Follow Me. And
See, I swear I missed that part.
you did miss it, Steve. You're in your car. It's
We're
fine.
doing good. We're doing good. We're doing good.
So, all right, that's a
Um,
perfect segue.
well, it
What
is, and
does,
that's why
yeah.
I wanted you to say it again. And if you said it before, that's great. We're going to say it again. But I think
Steve, we already
what
disagreed.
that's fine. That's
Oh my
fine.
gosh, the challenge has already
That's
been
perfect.
done.
I am curious to hear you tell me and everyone else that's listening what, in the realm of social media, when you hear the phrase "don't follow me" and you apply it to your social media life,
Mhm.
what does it mean to you? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
The first thing that comes to mind for me is don't follow me according to your expectations. If you are looking for, if you're looking for me to be something that you want to see, you have come to the wrong place. It's about being
Right.
authentic. It's about posting for me. It's about not necessarily always following the trends. It's
Right.
about putting out the content that I feel good about. And if you follow me for what I do because I do it authentically, great. Continue to follow me. And hey, if you've been considering it, go ahead and follow me. But if you're
Right.
looking for something that, and you want me to be something that I just am not, and you're never going to see from me, don't follow me.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. I mean, it's almost good enough. We could call it a wash right there. We're done. Um,
Well, see, we didn't get your perspective on it.
no, it's good. We're on similar pages because for me, it's similar in the sense that don't follow me in terms of duplicating a lifestyle or
Hmm.
duplicating actions.
Hmm.
And that's something that I see so much of in the world of social media that bothers the crap out of me. And it's
Yeah.
like if someone has a certain style or someone handles their business a certain way, don't don't go follow that person and mirror image their actions or their words or their style.
Hmm.
You need to build and create your own style. We are all unique for a reason.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's the don't follow me part that's so critical. Now, if you want to follow examples and information or the content to a certain degree and you're sharing that in different ways with the world, that's fine.
Hmm.
But again, you're not trying to duplicate or be someone else. Don't try to be someone else.
Right.
If someone says something works great for them, that's great. If it works well for them, that's great. That doesn't mean it's going to work for you.
Correct.
We still need to be authentic. We still need to figure out our own ways and do things a certain way that work for us.
Hmm.
And I think when I think of social media and I think of the follow me mentality that's out there, it it's skewed because so many people are just looking at other people and then they're saying, "Oh, well, they live that way and it works for them. I need to do the exact same thing." No, it's not.
Yeah. Well,
Take
for
take bits and pieces from it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think a lot of that honestly comes from pure convenience. I mean, how many times have you wanted to have, I'm just going to use this analogy. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but how many times have you wanted to have a really delicious dinner, but didn't feel like or wanted to cook everything and prepare all of the ingredients and instead have reached for something that will provide similar results just by throwing it in the microwave? I mean, it's kind of, to me, it's pure convenience. Okay, so I have now determined that I want to be like this person. So I'm going to follow them and I'm going to take everything they say to heart and do
Right.
everything they do because I can no longer think for myself on what I want to be. So I'm going to be them.
Right. Right. No, you're so right. And the one thing I can say that doesn't apply in my world is I don't own a microwave. So
Oh, that's
I still
great.
have, yeah, I don't own a microwave. We actually uninstalled our years ago. I was one of those guys that got on some information about the health benefits of not having a microwave and
I love that.
not getting in the habit of microwaving every single meal or heating something up.
Yeah,
So I just uninstalled it. We put a hood up over the range and the microwave went bye bye.
that's amazing.
And once you don't have one, it's amazing how quick you realize that you can live and get along just fine and you do not need a microwave in your life.
And this is
Um,
coming from someone that has 9 kids. So I
that is
don't
exactly right.
want to hear the excuses from someone
That's right.
saying that they have to microwave everything for
Nope.
2 kids.
Nope.
I don't know.
I mean, believe it or not, you can throw that oven on and you can heat something up just as quick in the oven.
And a
Then nuke,
stovetop.
then yeah, and nuke it. You know, you nuke something in the microwave. There's a reason the microwave makes it so hot so fast.
You know what? I don't
Don't
even like the microwave because it doesn't heat things evenly.
no, no. And gosh, that's a whole nother episode because
Oh
gosh
my
knows
gosh.
what's going into your food.
Now,
But
listen, Steve, I do plan on doing an episode like that, or maybe even a series. So we can talk about that after this because that is
there you
so
go.
important to me.
Well, it is, and that's when you said your analogy, I thought about it, and I was like, it. You're 100% right on every single thing. It's just that piece of it can't apply. And what I would say to your thought is, yes, when I'm in the mood for that meal, or the kids are excited for a new meal, and it's time to make something maybe me or my wife have never made before,
Mhm.
we we go find those examples. We might go look somewhere or watch a video or watch a quick little recipe something and see what makes sense. But at the same time, we're not necessarily forcing ourselves to follow it to every last detail. Like,
Mic drop. Mic
right,
drop.
you don't have to. And
No.
it can apply, if there's an ingredient in there that your kids won't eat. My kids don't like spicy food.
Yeah.
So I can delete a couple things and add something else to it. And guess what? When it's all done, it's still good.
That's
It's still
exactly
good.
it. And it's funny, Steve, you mentioned that because I love to cook. Like I'm still working on a cookbook to put out at some point. And it stems from a joy, first of all, but also cognizance of what I'm putting into my body. But I don't bake, and I'll tell you why I don't bake. It's because you do have to follow the recipe
Yes.
exactly because it's chemistry. You know, if you
Right.
don't do this with the dry and this with the liquid and don't mix them at exactly the right time or do this exactly, then the recipe doesn't work.
Right.
And that's why I don't bake. So I
That's
hate
good. That's
having to
good.
be exact. I like to do my own thing. And maybe that's what
Sure.
is part of making that what makes us us and entrepreneurial in spirit for sure. But you know, why we're approaching this topic of don't follow me the way we are, because
Yeah.
we are those people that
Well,
just
at the
can't
end of
follow
at the end
something
of the
exactly.
day, whether it's cooking or whether it's life decisions or work related or family related or religion related, whatever it is, at the end of the day, we have to be somewhat experimental. We
Yes.
have to be able to look at what we're trying to do and be willing to experiment certain things, and we have to be willing to accept failure if it does not work. And
100%.
we can't just say, oh, it worked this way for this person. If I do it the exact same way, I'm good. No,
Mhm.
it life needs to be different than that. If
Yes.
everyone lived that way, we would. I don't even want to say what we would be, but
Well, Steve, I mean, it honestly, so here's the thing. And I hate to keep going back to this, but for some reason, this just really works. But let's say I baked something, baked a cake, you baked a cake, and somebody else we know baked a cake. We all three of us could follow the exact same recipe and just
and get
purely
three different.
because, and we get
Yes,
three different
yes,
cakes. Yeah, I mean, you're talking
yes.
about altitude, you're talking about quality of ingredients, you're talking about all kinds of differences in that exactness that gives you different results. And following something
One thousand
exactly
percent.
and expecting the same results is madness.
1000%. And if there's one thing out there in the world that gets me the most, is that someone that is either selling or giving away free advice,
Mhm.
and they tell someone, just go do it this way.
Mhm.
That's great. It might work.
Yeah.
But I always feel for those people if it doesn't work for them. Those people accept failure in a different way.
Yes,
Now,
they
this
do.
might not make this, you might catch this, and to all the listeners, pay close attention. If you experiment and you try something on your own, there's a different type of failure than if you copy or take something from someone else and try and do it for yourself. That
Yep.
experimental failure, you will feel better in that zone than if you just took something from someone else. In
Well,
that
and you'll
zone, you feel
learn
like you've
too.
wasted your time. Yes, you learn from those experiences. You're
Yeah.
not wasting your time. If you
No.
take something from someone else and you do something just the way someone else did and you fail, you feel like your time's been wasted. If you do it purely or experimentally and then you fail, that's a huge learning experience.
Yeah,
Two
it
totally different
absolutely
worlds.
is. I think that also when you take something that someone else tells you to do and you fail, I think there's also a serious case of distrust after that
Oh,
point,
there
which,
is, there
you
is,
know,
there
that
is.
obviously that harms relationships too, and that just goes down so many different routes. But yes, I agree. When you experiment with something for yourself, there's a different level of understanding the failure.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's key. And this series, we're going to go through a lot of different things. And I think, as we do this introductory episode, I think it's important to share with some people a little bit of what's coming down the road. And I think
Yes.
most importantly to the listeners and every single one of you right now, as you listen to this, we expect you to come back to us with comments, with conclusions, with what your takeaways are from hearing some of what we say.
Mhm.
I will tell you right now, and Nell will probably agree, nothing we tell you in these next many episodes is gospel. These
No.
are experiences that we've been through. These are things that we've learned, and it's going to apply differently to every single person.
Yeah.
And we want to hear some of that from you guys.
Absolutely. We encourage you to interact with us, and we have plenty of guests in mind that will interact with us on this basis as, being a guest. But we hope that this series lights a fire under you. And we are no different than any of the other people that you follow out there. Nothing that, like Steve said, should be taken as gospel. And what we do may not work for you. And if you're looking for something out of this and you're expecting something and you try something that we do and you fail and you lose trust, don't follow us. That's not what this is about. This
Wow.
is,
Whoa, 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 whoa. Wow. That was a full circle experience over here now.
I mean,
That was
storytelling.
awesome. No, no, it's good. It's perfect. It's great. And it's so true. Um, Encouraging everyone, be experimental. Don't feel like you have to take something that you've seen somewhere work for someone else and
Yeah.
automatically tell yourself that that's the only way it can work for you. And
Yeah.
that's the furthest thing from the truth.
Absolutely. And I'm really, really interested to hear the opinions and thoughts of people that are listening. And I can't wait to hear the thoughts and opinions of the guests that we have lined up. And I'm super, super excited to dive further into this. And we've got some really awesome topics. I mean, we'll be talking about, why you follow, why if you seek followers, hustle culture, look at me, clickbait, all the hot
Oh,
topics,
clickbait,
all the
clickbait,
hot
clickbait.
topics.
Clickbait has taken over social media.
Oh, clickbait has it ever. Clickbait hasn't just taken over social media, it's taken over in life too. Have you ever had a conversation with someone and they start out by saying, like, I just had the most massive, amazing experience that will change your life forever?
Yeah, that's usually when I realize that I can stop talking to that person.
Right. I mean, that's the
Like,
verbal, like conversational equivalent of clickbait.
right, I don't even know how to say this, but in my mind, if a person starts out a conversation with me and that's their intro, we're done. We're done. There's nothing more we need to talk about. Like I that congratulations on your amazing experience. It's obviously not for me. It's not for me. And it kills me. It's
Mhm.
like, and it could be someone with a side hustle. It could be someone with some amazing health transformation and they got into a program and it worked for them. That's great. But I'm
Yeah.
like, there are different ways to approach conversation
Yes,
than
absolutely.
that. And when they come in with
Absolutely.
that intro, it's like, okay, we're done here.
I'm gonna leave you with another controversial intro. I
Oh
It's
boy.
like nails down a chalkboard for me when someone is introduced by how much they earn. Seven, eight-figure business owner, blah 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 blah
Oh
blah.
yes.
And as soon as I hear that number, I'm out. And it's
It's
not
funny. It's so funny you say that. Keep going. Keep
what
going.
so it's not that, obviously, I, I'm not saying that it's not somewhere that I don't ever want to be. And that's not what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that I'm looking for people to follow that are not seven or eight figure earners, but I don't
Right.
want to learn about you that way, if that makes
Right.
sense. And
Right.
I'm not interested in following you just because you make eight figures. If you have to lead
That's
with that, that is your, it's not clickbait because it's technically true. If it is, I don't know, but I just can't stand it. Sensationalism. And that is a topic that I
that's what I
really
was just
want
gonna
to
say.
approach.
The sensation part of it and trying to connect with people.
Mhm.
If you're a millionaire and you're giving a presentation to a room full of people that want to be a millionaire,
Mhm.
they're all going to sit up real straight and pay close attention when you tell them exactly how much money you make. But the sad part is that as they sit there and they listen to that presentation, their their mind is foggy and
Yeah.
their mind is completely fogged over because they're thinking about the money side of it.
Yep.
Be there to absorb the information, be a sponge in that moment, learn something, take it back, apply it to your own life. Because at the end of the day, and I know we're going to speak to someone as a guest that's
Mhm.
going to nail this topic down so much.
Mhm.
And it is the fact of the matter that there's more to life than money.
Oh,
And the
yes.
sooner that you recognize that, the better life you will live.
Oh,
You will have a
my
better
goodness.
life with your
Yes.
family, your kids, everything. There's so much more to life than money. And if you're living your life and focusing everything around money, you're
Mhm.
missing out on a lot of life and experience.
For sure. And so, Steve, I do have a very important question before we wrap this episode up. So, if you are sitting in these rooms and having these experiences with these high income earners, and you're being a sponge, and your name is Bob, does that make you SpongeBob?
I guess I could be SpongeBob for the next 5 minutes.
I had to,
I know, I know.
you
Hold on.
know,
Don't you have the drum roll ready?
I might.
No, that was good.
So, Steve,
That
I
was good.
think that that's a great place to wrap up this episode, this
Good
introductory
job.
episode. I
This is
can't believe
thank you everyone. This is SpongeBob signing off. You know.
I can't believe that I'm signing off the 100th episode with a SpongeBob joke.
Hey, you know what? We'll call that your version of today's dad joke. That was good. That
Thank you.
was
I
good.
appreciate that. All right, Steve, thank you so much for joining me as guest host for this series. I'm so, so excited to do this with you. I'm so excited to talk to the people that we have lined up, and I'm really, really excited to hear the thoughts and opinions of the listeners. So
it's going to be good.
yeah. So listeners, thank you so, so much for listening. Please make sure that you share this episode. We are on YouTube now. So go ahead and, if you are following and choose to follow us, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the episode and do all of the things. Leave us a review. That's how we grow here at the What the Nell podcast. And as always, we will catch you on the next one.
To learn more about how to tell your story, connect with Nell at enTICEingmedia.com. That's ENTICEING media.com. Thanks for listening to the What the Nell podcast.